The Colorado Buffaloes, now with an overall record of 8-2, 6-1 in the Big 12 Conference, now ranked 16th in the country, remain in the driver's seat for an appearance in the conference title game and possibly a spot in the college football playoffs after a 49-24 win against Utah in dominant fashion. Welcome to Buffs Banter.
Your source for Colorado football. Let's
Go
go,
Buffs.
Buffs!
Welcome in, everybody, to Buffs Banter, presented by Believe Network. My name is Dean Frank. I'm here with my co-host, Oscar Gonzalez-Moore, and we are here to wrap up the Utah game. Another big win for Colorado. That's now 4 in a row, and, they really hold everything in their hands right now. 2 more games left in the season. 2 more wins would give them a seat in the Big 12 championship. Definitely a lot can happen from until then. Job is not finished, but for now, let's just talk about what happened in this Utah game. It was of as well-rounded of a game as you could ask for as a Buffs fan. Oscar, I guess, just first of all, what are you thinking? How is everything expected of what happened? And, how are you feeling going forward?
Yeah, it was a great game from both sides of the ball. Colorado having 49 points is the first team since 2014 to put up 49 points on Utah. So that's really cool, and they've had a really good defense this entire year. We saw BYU struggle with that a little bit last week when they played them, but yeah, super exciting. We're tied for the Big 12 right now as BYU lost last week, but job's not finished. There was definitely some things we could clean up. It's crazy. Shador threw that pick immediately. I'm pretty sure 3 out of the 4 interceptions he has this year are on the first drive. But besides that, he played very well. He had a PFF rating of 75.1, and without that pick, he would have had an 86.3 grade. So great game by him. He had 340 yards, 3 tuds, and just really lit this Utah team up. We talk about Travis a lot, but Shador is definitely that guy too, and super exciting with the Julian Lewis news as well. Hopefully he'll be given the keys to him after this season.
Definitely. And at the end of the day, it is really what we should have expected from a top quarterback in the country playing against a third or fourth string quarterback in Utah's quarterback, because we knew going into the game Utah was pretty injured. The spread was 13.5. It all led up to Colorado dominating, but there's still a little feel from last year. It's you never really know until the game happens. Are we going to show out? Are we going to be consistent? How are the Buffs going to play? And I was pleasantly surprised. Kind of like you mentioned, we were off to a slow start. Luckily our defense really kept us in this game early. That we threw the pick and they started on the 20-30 yard line, and our defense held them to a field goal. I think both turnovers actually, because we also had a fumble and our defense held them to a field goal. So, those stops are huge when it comes down to it in the game. Our defense definitely is keeping us in all of these games. We had 4 sacks, 3 interceptions. Everyone is showing up big. Cameron Suleman-Craig led the way with 7 solo tackles, and he had the highest PFF grade for our defense. But, just like we said, this team is so much more than just Shador and Travis. Can we talk about our offense too real quickly, because everybody made a name for themselves today. First we got to talk about freshman superstar who had a breakout game of his own, broke 100 yards. Draylon Miller had a touchdown as well of his own on that. It was a 50-yard touchdown, and he just broke 3 tackles and he just bulldozed his way. It's the leg days are working or something, because they could just not get him down. And then Will Shepherd had 2 touchdowns. He just seems like the perfect red zone target. He has a big frame. He's able to grab those 50-50 balls. So I think he had a slow start to the season, but he's really becoming consistent and being that second or third guy whenever we need him. And I'm not even talking about Travis yet, because LeJontay Wester also, he led the game with 10 receptions. He had 77 reception yards, and he had a punt return touchdown, which was our first of the season. So, we're scoring in all assets of the field, kind of like you mentioned. It wasn't pretty, and that's what's so crazy about this team is we scored 49 points. We had our season high in points scored for the season, and it still wasn't like it could have been a lot prettier, you know.
Yeah.
Um, Last stat I'll go over with is we are 10-10 in outscoring teams this season in the second half. So I think it's fair to say we are a second half type of team. I would love to come out a little more hot. I mean, we ended that first quarter 14-3 winning. So I think it just showed really Utah just wasn't built for this game. I mean, it was great to beat them. We haven't beat them in so long, and they've just been injured. I mean, it's Colorado's year, man. It's the year of the Buffs, and we are now 8-2 in this on the season, and just in the driver's seat to keep going and get this job finished to get to that game in Dallas for the Big 12 championship.
Yeah, and we didn't even bring up Jimmy Horn, you know. Somehow Colorado just always has weapons. Like, we are always equipped. It's next man up mentality, 100%. But yeah, very impressive performance by Draylon Miller. Glad to see him shining, you know. And yeah, I mean, Travis was still doing Travis things. Only even though he only had 55 yards, he had a pick and a crazy touchdown at the end of the game. I mean, the way he just scrambled to one side of the field and then cut back in, like nobody else is doing that. And that jump ball, are you kidding me? That was awesome, man. Yeah, I'm just super grateful that we got to witness all of it, you know, like definitely was a little sad after the game on Saturday, considering it's our last time at Folsom Fields, unless we fly back for the Ohio State game. But no, in all seriousness, like probably our last time there watching football as a student at least. And yeah, it's just been an epic ride. And this team could not be peaking at a better point, you know? We're playing our best football. I think for us, honestly, like the Big 12 is ours to lose in general. I don't think there's a better team in the Big 12 right now, but we do have to be careful and take care of business these next 2 weeks because this Kansas team is no joke. Just handed BYU their first loss of the season. It feels like they're picking it up right at a good time right now. I mean, they started off slow, but their quarterback is no joke either. And Oklahoma State, even though, you know, their season has kind of fell off, like they've always been a very good football program. So yeah, definitely got to lock in and take care of business because we haven't won anything yet. You know, we're in great position, but success is taken. Being a legend is taken, not given. So let's get it.
Sure. I mean, kind of like you said, I do think the Big 12 championship is ours to lose just because of we've been getting better every single game, unlike the BYU who just lost. I mean, I know it was the first loss of the season, but sure, I mean, it's not coming at the right time. And then you look at Kansas State, who's lost again. I mean, they fell off the map. Iowa State is there, sure, but the Buffs have really just upped their stock every single week. And I think, I mean, it's a perfect time to start trending in the right direction. And I kind of want to talk about, I mean, even just with this being our last home game as students here, I think it was the perfect wrap-up game, just with Fox Big Noon kickoff in attendance, an early morning game, just waking up early and, you know, nothing like feeling that adrenaline of a 6 a.m. wake up, start drinking, you know, get everyone together. And it's just like, it was a perfect wrap-up. I think the Fox Noon kickoff was awesome to see. I mean, I think we have some of the best fans in the country just because of how excited and, you know, this hasn't happened. Like, we haven't been ranked this high in about 10 years. So to be ranked 16th now in the country with just a couple weeks left in the season, I think people are starting to finally realize that this is really going to happen. This is a real deal. Yeah, I guess I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about my experience on game day too, because I was lucky enough to get on the field for the pregame, which I haven't been there since week one against North Dakota State, actually. Shout out 5430 Alliance. My internship got me in clutch, but just being right there, man. I mean, you forget how awesome it is just to, like, we're so used to seeing this team play and whatnot, but, you know, just the star-studded like talent around this team. I mean, you see Shadur, you see Travis, you see hundreds of cameras on him. Fox, like, nationally televised games all season long, right? And I mean, Fox Sports, one of the biggest broadcaster team out there. So I think it's just awesome to see, like, kind of like the behind the scenes of what goes down pregame. and saw a couple stars out there. I saw Duke Dennis, which was funny. Rondo was out there, a couple rappers. I mean, it was just like the perfect way to close off these past couple of years of hype and excitement from this Boulder team.
Yeah, 100%. That is so sweet. You're around the stadium. Even if you go to ESPN's TikTok, you see yourself right there, like when Deion's coming out, which is sweet. But yeah, I mean, I guess one thing I do want to talk about is it would be interesting. We're ranked 16 right now.
Sure.
And it's a 12-man playoff. You know what I mean? So it'd be interesting to see, like, maybe even if we don't win the Big 12 championship, like, I think there's definitely a reality, especially if we win out and we lose to BYU or whoever we play in the Big 12 championship in a close fashion. Like, there's a chance you can make that. You know what I mean? But, oh, my God, dude, it would be a dream. That would be the perfect way to end the season, in my opinion. Winning the Big 12 championship, being able to go to Dallas with all the boys, and seeing that game, and then maybe going to a college football playoff game. That'd be sweet. I know my buddy at Indiana has been chirping me a lot. Like, if the Buffs matched up with the Hoosiers, I think that would be super cool. But like, just being able to play like one of these bigger teams or like bigger programs that has been around for a while, like that would be awesome. But yeah, as of right now, we win out, we take care of business, we control our own destiny, which we've established. And yeah, I think it's very feasible in the cards for sure. I mean, it would be at this point almost like a disappointment if we didn't make it to the Big 12 championship.
How crazy is that? How crazy is that? I mean, at the same point though, it's like, I guess, yeah, if we lose these last two games, like obviously it's still a win in the season. So it's just like, what do we, how much do we expect this team to keep going forward? And I mean, we should definitely be favored both of these games, like pretty heavily as well. So I think it is ours to lose. I also wanted to add on too, just it's funny how like for all you watching, if you'd follow our Instagram at Buff Spander and YouTube, and we give all live reactions, all touchdowns and everything. And people love that Travis touchdown, man, the Philly special. I think it just wraps up the season perfectly. I mean, Travis is just able to do anything. And that video I took is at almost 100K right now. And so we're definitely trending in the right direction. I mean, I know it's the end of the season, but we're getting some followers now. So if y'all are new, appreciate y'all for tuning in. I mean, we've been doing this all season long, but we're going to be continuing doing this as this team, looks to keep making a name for themselves. I think also, last thing I did want to mention too, just to wrap up this season and just to show what we do. Okay, for everyone listening, while we keep saying wrapping up the season, we do have an Oklahoma State home game, but we'll be home for Thanksgiving. So, it sucks for missing that. At the same time, like, got to go eat some pumpkin pie, So, anyways, Peggy turned 100, and the whole stadium was just singing happy birthday for the whole sold-out crowd at Folsom Field. I think it just shows, like, the community that Coach Prime has brought to Boulder and just the excitement, the unity. And it's like, we Buffs fans are like, we're loud. And, it's just awesome. I mean, Peggy, she's a super fan, obviously, turning 100. I mean, it's awesome. So I think that was like, and that was posted everywhere on social. So it's just like, not even stuff that our football team specifically is doing or Coach Prime. It's like, we're getting on ESPN for Peggy. So I think Colorado is slowly becoming a household name for football. And like you talked about, Julian Lewis just decommitted from USC. I think there's a great shot of him coming to Boulder and starting right away. So I think we're definitely trending in the right direction. I mean, we know obviously we're going to be losing Travis and Shadur into the draft this next year, but we still got a bunch of names like going into, like, we have some young talent too. I mean, Colton Hood is a stud. We got Omarion Miller coming back from injury. Draylon, who's been awesome. Michael Welch, Augustov, Seaton, obviously. And then we get some new people in the transfer class. Like, I know we're not going to be here, but this team is going to be exciting to watch going forward. And it really is just the beginning of the dynasty. And if you really think that Coach Prime is leaving, I think you should get your facts straight, because I mean, if that would be so sad if he does leave, and I just look back on this, but I think he loves Boulder. He's here to stay, and we're building a dynasty out here.
Yeah, 100%. That was very well said. I think Coach Prime is not in the business. Like, eventually Shador is going to have to, his two sons, Shador and Travis, are going to have to, just make a name for themselves. And I think he really does not only like CU, but just Colorado in general. And I definitely see him.
What is there not to
here.
like?
I think he's just getting started. And you're right. There's definitely going to be some super exciting things happening in the offseason, whether that's guys we're recruiting, which I thought we don't do, or guys in the transfer portal. So, yeah, good things to come.
Definitely. I think, obviously, even though we're going to be home this up weekend, we got to make sure to keep grinding out this content because it's like the first 3 weeks of last year was obviously the most hype when we beat TCU, we beat Nebraska, we beat CSU. Obviously, it was downfall from there. But from here on out, I feel like this year it's kind of opposite because we've been winning and it's been quieter. But now we're trending, we're loud, we're back in the center of attention, social media. We got to talk about Travis Hunter being the Heisman real quick before it happens before our eyes, because I think the odds just keep getting better and better. But man, he only had 55 yards, which I guess an Ashton Genty Glazer might have something to say. But the tutty, the pick, he has probably
he played every snap.
Yeah. And I guess that is going to be the main factor and just evidence of why he is that man. But he has probably 2 of like the top 3 catches on the year. And it's just like, he can't do anything wrong. Right after the game, I just copped a Heisman, like a high 1-2 min, Travis Hunter, nice. The one Evan has, just because I got to get on it. And it's really going to happen, man. It's going to be awesome to look back. We just lived through a Heisman. Not many people can say that. So I think this is awesome. And I know people, there's a lot of debate with him and Genty. I think at the end of the day, as football fans, we just got to acknowledge the greatness. Genty is probably one of the best college running backs we've seen in a minute. And we haven't seen what Travis Hunter has been doing in forever, just playing so many snaps, being the greatest at both sides of the field. So I think we just got to take in greatness. Whatever happens, happens. But I really do hope Travis wins it because he deserves it, man. It's just obvious the work he puts in on and off the field. So he's been so exciting to watch.
Yeah, I think regardless of what ends up happening, both those guys are ballers. You know what I mean? And you can't go wrong. But it would be awesome to see Travis win it. And I honestly think he's got a better shot than maybe some people think. I honestly think the media is going to take in to account. I'm sorry. I think because Colorado is such a hyped up program, and because Travis Hunter is the phenom he is, not only on the field but also just like he has so many followers, like such a big following, like what he's doing is unprecedented.
Yeah,
I think that is going to needs to be taken into account as well, and will be when we get the results.
Definitely. At the same time, like, we don't got to talk about it. We should definitely like make a whole pod just regarding the debate. Yeah. But people at the start of the year, like, who is Colorado played? Like Travis Hunter shouldn't be in that talk. The Heisman should be someone from the best team in the league, And at the same time, I got to play the devil's advocate. Genty, they just played against San Jose State. Like, come on now. He's getting over 30 carries a game. Like, of course, he's going to put up these numbers. He's obviously NFL talent. He's going to be a top pick in the first round, but they aren't playing these big teams at all. And it will be interesting. We could low-key play against Boise State in the college football playoffs. I don't know how the bracket is going to end up, but, they're ranked right ahead of us right now, and you never know. So it'll be interesting. I think it's going to be super fun just watching the bracket. I think it'll be awesome. Remember last year we made that video of Colorado not getting into that, and it's now like we actually could get it. Like, that is just a full circle moment. That's awesome. But yeah, there's a shot, man. So it's exciting. we appreciate y'all for listening. I mean, it's 10 p.m. on Sunday right now. It's been a long weekend, but got to keep grinding these videos out. Like I mentioned, I mean, make sure to follow our Instagram. We're going to keep grinding with the content and the live reactions and, everything, because this team is so exciting to watch. And I think y'all, as either whether you're a Buffs fan or not, even just college football in general, I mean, this team is exciting, and I think we are the team to beat right now. So we got Kansas next week. We will come out with a preview later this week, going more into depth for it. But as for now, man, I love our chances, and Buffs for life. This has been awesome, just going to all these games and just roller coaster of emotions. But we are 8-2, man. 8-2. I did not think this was going to happen. Coach of the year, man. He got to win it, because maybe the Indiana guy, obviously they're undefeated right now, but it's been special, man. It's been an awesome year. I couldn't have asked for more as a fan.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think that's a great place to wrap it up. So I'll just end it with a Skull Buffs, baby.
Go Buffs.